afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I know this isn't my Corvette, and there's a reason why I'm not doing anything and haven't been doing anything with my Corvette for the past few weeks, and I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But today, for any of you who happen to have a Dodge Ram 2010, I think, to 2019, yes. And you have these retractable mirrors that do all this retracting right here. They're great, but sometimes they get broken and they don't want to go in. Like the one on the driver's side, this one still kind of works, but it's kind of crappy. And once I get it apart, I'll show you why. Now, I've looked for a lot of videos when I had this issue, about this issue on YouTube and everywhere else, and all the videos really sucked and didn't give you a lot of information on how to get this done. So what you need to do is you need to buy the parts that go on the inside of this mirror. And there's a couple of parts that come with it, and it's here we go. This is the newest part that you get, and what this part does is this is a gear, of course, a motor gear that helps pull in the mirror all the way to the window, and this is the other portion of it as well. On the inside, Dodge, in its infinite wisdom, decided to put plastic because, hey, you know, every car manufacturer thinks that plastic is the way to go. Although it's destroying our environment and plastic works like crap when it comes to rubbing up against a metal piece like this, they put plastic here. When I take it apart, you'll see the other one, and it has plastic on it, and it just really sucks. And whoever bright-ass engineering idea that was needs to be, you know, they need to find another job doing something else, because that's just not satisfactory when it comes to this. So, pretty much enough talking about this, but these are the parts that will be replaced today. And how to get this all started is you're going to fold your mirror back like this, and then don't worry about taking the trim off here. You can do that if you like, but it's not necessary. What you need to do is grab the mirror, and I know you're going to cringe, but don't. But you push the mirror down with the controls, and then you grab the top of the mirror, and pop it off. Now, this one I kind of pre-popped it off, but it's going to be difficult for you. It's not going to be too difficult. It's just that it's a little bit on the tough side, and you have to pop the mirror off, and it's going to scare you. Don't be afraid. You're probably not going to destroy anything, because that's what I do best, is destroy things. So once you pop the mirror off like this, you're going to unplug these. Now, I don't think that either one of these wires right here, let's see if I can get this a little bit closer. I don't think that either one of these wires matters which one you put where, but for me, because I like to make sure things go back the way that they were, I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to take and put a little bit of a knot, which this thing is on there. All right, great, there we go. I'm going to put just a little half knot there on this so that I know that it goes on this one instead of the other one, because I like to make sure things go back the way that they are, because I am getting old and I am notorious for forgetting things. Alright, so got the mirror off, and that's what it's going to look like in the back. These two clips right here, there's a clip here, and these little are just like little hooks that go down inside the mirror housing. These are the bottom clips go here and the top clips go there. So it's pretty easy to do. You just have to make sure you are careful and take your time. Alright, well, let's see if we can get a little bit of an angle there. Alright, so got the mirror off. You can put that wherever you want to put it, whatever tickles your fancy. Easiest for me is just throw it back inside the truck so that I don't lose it, because I will probably lose it. Next here, I think these are like 15 millimeter hex bolts. There's 1, 2, and then all the way in the back here. So if I can get that in for you, because I'm going to be doing a whole lot of somewhat camera magic here to get this to at least look somewhat right, so you ladies and gentlemen can see what I'm doing. But also, a bolt here, which you probably can't see because it's hard for the light to get in there, but let's try and get you guys some light. There we go. So there's a bolt there. There's a bolt here and here. So we're going to undo those real quick so we can make sure we get the housing off. And then there's a couple other things that we'll need to unplug and take those off as well. And then underneath, which you won't be able to see, there's another bolt that you have to pull out. So you have to swing the mirror all the way back the opposite direction so that you can find the bolt. There's a hole right here where there's another bolt, and I'm not going to sit there and try to film that for you, but trust me, there's a hole here. Bolt has to come out so you can take the covering off. Okay, so we've got that all undone, so now it's time to get the outer housing off. So there is back here some wires, 3 wires right here. It's in a nice little plug, so just go ahead and you're going to pull that plug to make sure that it comes loose. Please don't forget where your wires go. This is kind of a pain because it has a really narrow area that you can get your hand inside of to try to pull this off. So it's a little frustrating, but you can get to it. It just takes a little bit of finessing and finagling, and you basically need baby hands to get this done. So okay, so here's the shell, the very outer shell right here. You can just unplug all the things that go to it. Comes right off. A little bit of a pain in the arse, but it's okay. And this is the inner shell that you're going to have, and that comes off as well. Now we have this whole arm thing here. This is the thing that swings back and forth whenever you press the button to retract the mirrors, so people can get by, you don't break things. And what you have now is you have to take this apart, and there are some bolts on the back side of this. So if you push this mirror all the way back around, you will see that you have some bolts here. And they are 15 millimeter as well, hex. And there's 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to pop these 3 off so that you can take this arm off of the truck so that you can get to the rest of it, which is going to be this piece of equipment right here. So this comes out. It's just a little bitty plug goes in. It's got 2 little prongs on it. There's only one way for this to go in, the right way, so that it fits. It hits some connectors and contacts inside here so that it actually runs the motor. So you want to make sure that you don't break these, please. And you also have to make sure that you take all the wiring once you've unplugged everything out of the housing here, this arm that you're going to take off. So be sure and unplug them all, or you'll be going through doing this all over again, and it's not fun. It's not the easiest job in the world to do, but if you just take a little bit of time, take your time, and try not to break anything, don't rush, and just unplug all your stuff and put these wires right about here, because those are going to go through this hole here. There's a hole right here for the arm that swings. So let's go ahead and I'll grab the drill, and then I'll go ahead and get those off right quick. And this is just the arm for it. And we'll go ahead and toss that inside the truck as well. Now to the bread, butter, meat, potatoes, whatever you want to call it. So to help you out so that you don't make the mistake of putting this thing on wrong or getting it crooked, I would suggest that you make like a mark or something. Like here is a good mark. Pretty much already made. There's a little piece of rubber that's raised here. Or you can take a punch or something like that and make marks on, and scribe marks, and make punch marks right here inside of the on the outside of the housing here on this piece of metal, so that you can know exactly where this motor housing came from and what its exact original orientation is, so that you don't lose things. But since I pretty much know, and I've done this before, how this goes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a mark like right here on the housing, just like that, so that I can see where it goes. So I've got a little bit of an arrow there, and I'm going to put it right, it looks like it's right in line with this line here, and I'll put just a little bit of a mark there so I know where it is. And now I know exactly where the housing goes on this, so that I don't have to sit there and be flustered over where it's supposed to be. Okay, so I've gotten those bolts out, and there's 4 of them that are around the housing around here on this base right here. So once you get those 4 bolts out, you're going to feed your wires back through the hole right here and just let those hang dangle. And this is what you're after, this right here. And I'm going to tell you ahead of time, it's a pain in the ass to get this off. The other one was not easy. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 little like indentations here. Probably pretty hard to see, and I know that's not the best, but if you can see that little indentation right there, that's what we're after. So you have to take a screwdriver, stick it down in the sides here, which fortunately give you a very little bit of room to stick it down in here so that you can get your screwdriver and pry this open just a little. Don't go Incredible Hulk. This is not freaking Endgame or anything like that. All you have to do is just get in there enough to break, not break, let's try not using the word break, because somebody will break something and blame me. All you have to do is loosen this by prying this out some, not too much, but just enough to get this housing, the motors and stuff in here to pull out and away from this. So gently, everybody, no hulking out on this. This is pretty simple. So hold on a second, we'll get you to the part to where we're starting to pry on this. Okay, so we've got success with that. We've got this ring back on, the retaining ring. So now all we have to do is put this back into where it goes. I'm going to change the orientation a bit and put it in this way. And don't worry about it. It'll just slide right in. You don't have to do anything special to it. Fits right on. Next, we've got to put our outer housing back onto it, because this is just like a dust cover. So we'll just take a look at how this is going to go. Yeah, that should work. Let's grab our plastic cover that goes over this. Okay, so we've got this housing back on now. Everything looks pretty good. I don't think we need to do anything else to it. This is where those 2 holes are that are on top of the little motor. And that's where this plug right here is going to go back in and pop into there. Let's see how this all comes out and works. So we'll get this all back together, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so there you have it. That is how to replace the motor and gears inside of your Dodge Ram, from I think 2010 to 2019, I believe. I could be wrong. I possibly am. I'll put something in the description if I figure out and make sure that I'm telling you the right thing as far as the year. But that's how you fix it. That's how you put it all back together. It's not really hard. It's just the toughest part is just this the spring, as far as getting it off to get to the housing and whatnot inside where the motor is. And that is how it works. As you can see, it works just fine now. You don't have to worry about having those cheap plastic parts that Dodge puts into the vehicles, and especially in small parts like this with your heated mirrors and folding mirrors. They're just pretty much useless, and they're going to break on you with any cycle of heat and cold. it's going to break, and just with repeated use, they will definitely break. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. And I almost forgot, the reason why you're not seeing the Corvette anymore, because this is where it's supposed to be in this spot here, is because I took my Corvette to the GM dealership just to have a clutch put on. There was nothing wrong with my clutch. I just wanted a better clutch put on the car. I bought a brand new clutch, which I made a video of, but I didn't quite put it out just yet. But once they had my car about 2 weeks ago, they broke my car. So the big black Corvette is now out of commission. So until they decide to figure out what it is that they've broken on my car, I'm not sure what they could have done as far as breaking the engine, putting the clutch in, which is a pretty straightforward job. But 2 weeks later, and I still don't have my car back, and they're really not talking to me as far as what is wrong with my car. So until then, I will be doing projects like this, and I will also be keeping you update on things like the Z06 Corvette that's out, and any other new vehicles that pop up, or any vehicles that you're interested in seeing any videos on, especially like any old Hondas and all that stuff, because I'm really into the older Hondas and VWs and stuff. So thank you once again for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. I'll make sure to put where I got the parts from also in the description as well. And if I missed something on this video and you want me to go over something else again, let me know. I'll be sure and do a small video about it. Have a great day. Stay safe. And remember, if you're going to speed, make sure you keep it under 100. And if you can't keep it under 100, remember, it's your ticket and you're going to have to pay it. So have a great day.